Sejam bem-vindos a mais um programa de Becos Urbanos, a Ressonância da Cultura. Hoje vamos ter connosco Teti Malik. Teti Malik é uma artista, tatuadora e também uma artista que pinta e faz outros tipos de arte. Vamos estar a um pouco à conversa, visto que ela teve há pouco tempo aqui no espaço 399 uma exposição e vamos conhecer um bocadinho da Teti Malik. We're going to try and change it now to English so that Teti can speak with us. Teti, and so it's great to have you here with us. So happy to have you with us. Now we're going to speak a little bit before we go into the art itself. We wanted to speak a little bit about yourself, like so that our audience can know a little bit about yourself. So you were born in Ukraine. You wrote here the city, but I was trying to say it, but it's
okay.
Can you tell us which city were you born?
Sure. I was born in Kryvyi. It's middle part of Ukraine, but when I was around 7, my mom and I moved to Kiev, so I was raised in Kiev mostly.
Okay, so basically, in which age did you move from Kiev to Kiev?
I was 7, around 7.
Around 7 years old, so basically, most of your life was in Kiev.
Yes.
Do you have some memories from your hometown?
Yeah, I have. It's kind of industrial city.
Mm-hmm.
We have there red snow actually.
Red snow?
Yeah, because it's industrial city and it's a lot of pollution, so it's not that romantic actually.
Okay, I did not know that, but it snows red?
No, it's just because
when it hits the soil, it becomes red.
Yeah, kind of, because there are a lot of this red dust around.
Okay.
And that's why.
Alright. So then you moved to Kiev when you were 7, and you made all of your studies in Kiev. So
Yes.
you did like
School, college, university.
all of it was in Kiev. So because I'm trying to understand when did you because to become an artist, this is something that actually it's born with everybody, but most of them go through different paths, but you decided to continue this path of art. How did that happen? Was it something that you always had your mind in? How?
Yeah, I always, I remember myself, I was drawing something. I really was into drawing. And I was always going somewhere like art school, even from, I don't remember how old I was, but since I'm a child, I was.
Since you was a child. So basically, you did like high school normally, but then you went into art school, or
to
was
college as well. So college was also, I was studying there art, and after college, I decided that I would like to probably be a book illustrator, and I decided to go to university and just study there, and so I got master's degree.
You got a master's degree in art? Like what was the specific in
book illustration,
book
design,
Yeah, but you told me that this was something that it was before you went into like art, you wanted to be something else.
Yeah, when I was a little child, I spent a lot of time in a village with my grandparents, so I was surrounded by animals.
Yeah.
It was super cute, super nice. I think I'm really grateful for this childhood. There was no kids around, just animals. And also because in villages, there's a lot of animals that get killed, unfortunately.
But for food?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, like for food?
Yes. So I was always curious when my grandma preparing like chicken, for example, and I was like, it's interesting, what's inside? And I was really into this, and I even like thought like, okay, like people also have something inside, and I like animals as well. So in some point I wanted to be a doctor and to make surgeries. I even made kind of surgeries for my dolls at home. It was creepy, I think, if you didn't know me like a child.
Oh my God. So you used to perform operations on your dolls?
On my dolls, yeah, but it was more like, okay, my father, he was a sailor, and he brought me a really beautiful Barbie, but her legs were legs. I knew that something inside, because I can change the shape of legs, you know, and I was super curious and to see like what's going on there. So I don't know how, but I found a razor. I don't know, really. I was around.
You didn't know how you found the razor?
Yeah, but I found it.
Okay.
My parents didn't know about it, so I just used this. I cut my doll's legs to see what's going on inside. So yeah, I was curious. But later I decided, okay, so after this I used tape and recovered them, so I was not that bad. I tried to save them.
You tried to save them, but so you were basically like fascinated with anatomy back in that time.
Yes.
Either it was like animal anatomy or human beings. You were like.
In general, I was really curious, like what's going on inside and how it works.
And how old were you at this time?
Till 7.
Oh, it was when you were still in your village in.
It's not a village, so but I spent some time in a village with my grandparents.
Okay.
So it's just really close to the city where I was born, and yeah.
So this was a phase until 7, until you moved to Kiev. Okay. So in Kiev, you decided, no, now I'm gonna like try and do.
I think it was just curiosity because of the village and they were surrounded by this. But when I moved to Kiev, my mom took some classes from like in art school, because I also liked to draw every time, like when I had.
Every time, like you were always drawing.
I don't remember actually like always, but my mom still keeps some drawings from.
Oh, that's really
it's
cool.
cute, yes. And when I saw this, it was like, yeah, it's nice, it's fun. But yeah, I did it. I like the process to draw. So somehow it happened that my mom just took some courses for me as well, like when I was in school. And yeah, it was just. Keep doing this and enjoy it so much.
That's very cool. And then, but you were drawing, and then you went to book illustration. So you wanted to be like a cartoonist or something like that?
No, it's not about cartoonist. When I was in college, college was more like after 9th grade, there was a choice or to go to high school or to go to college. It's how it works in my country.
Mm-hmm.
And because my family was not that well, and there were some kind of not good moments in my life, so I wanted. There was an option in college that they paid me. It was not a grant. How it was, I don't remember.
A scholarship?
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I was a good student, so I got some money from this, and so it was for free for me. I shouldn't pay, and I get some money, so it helped me also to just.
To be able to continue your studies?
Yeah, because my parents were not so.
Yeah, financially it wasn't that much of a.
Hi, baby.
Hey, babes.
She's already in the camera.
So this is cool. So it happened in the area. So you went to college with this scholarship, and this is when you started to do the degree in book illustration.
It's not book illustration yet. The college is just more.
Drawing classes.
Drawing classes, yeah, it was more technical college actually, but they had some groups that could do art. So I started to do this, and what I grateful for that there were a lot of disciplines that I could try all of them. Like it was design, it was even architecture, it was book illustration, it was even creating books, like academic art, and all of things that I could try was art.
So they give you a big array of options for you to like try this, try that, to see
exactly.
whatever
and I think
you
it
want
was
to do.
really helpful for me. So because in some point I saw like, okay, maybe I could do some architecture or something. But thanks for this, I tried this and I realized, okay,
this is not what I want.
It's not my thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a good process to be able to like select what you really wanted to do. Right?
Yes, exactly. And after this, I decided that okay, I'll keep going in the field, like closer to publishing, to like make illustrations, and yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And then after that, like you start with this illustrating. You went after college. This is when you went to the university, and then you focused on the book illustrating part of the thing. So, what was the process during this degree in college in the university related to the book illustration?
Yeah, so in university it was more academic art, like studying of anatomy as well, how to draw properly, painting, different print techniques. What I really enjoyed, and I think was print techniques it also was kind of really big stuff for me, because even now I'm inspired a lot of them. And yeah, I also we started to have some class of history of art, and it was also amazing. So to be more involved in this, to have more knowledge about history of art, so it also helps me somehow to understand more about art, and also make more even my connection with what I'm doing is way more clear for myself why I'm doing this.
All right, so yeah, as you were saying, like the printing part was one of the parts that you enjoyed most?
One of the most, because printmaking was something that, I mean, it gave me the feeling that you never know what will be in the end, and it was so curious for me, because with etching, with lithography, it's like you need to do a lot of processes to see how it will be in the end, and always it's kind of open-ended, because you never know what will be in the end after printing. And yeah, it was wonderful and something.
So the expectation of it, right?
Yeah, the expectation, and it's not something that's pretty clear, you know. Like you in my way, I think I really enjoyed the way that I couldn't control everything. So there was a moment that something can happen that can or destroy the picture, or to make it more interesting. And even after printmaking, like the process of, I don't know, with lithography, for example, I really enjoy the shape of the stone, because it's not perfect, you know, and sometimes it makes these specific shapes even of the ending of the stone. So it also inspires me in the way, like,
you never know the outcome, so it's always a surprise. Even for the artist, they don't know the final result.
You can control like the process, but there is something that you don't know how it will be after etching, after using the exit. So yeah,
it's always a surprise. So this is something that actually captivates you. The fact that, like, I'm gonna put the process in motion of what I'm going to do, but I don't know the end product of it.
Yeah.
It's not like a drawing where you know what's going to end up with.
You can control it, but in the end, there is something that can make it more. I like the word dramatic, you know, because even with printmaking, I like the way that it's a little bit darker. It's graphic picture, but because of the way how it's done, I don't know, it just seems more interesting to me, like more dramatic. You know, like
yeah, it's cool. It's like not knowing the outcome is something that makes you feel like that you're always in that expectation, like, okay,
you can
I did
control everything, but you don't. So in this way, I like it.
So this was when you were doing it in university, and this was like more of a classic type of scenario learning, like learning the classic way of doing these things. But then you moved to an abstract concept of doing your art. How did that happen?
It happened actually pretty much later, because when I was studying, I was more in a classic art, and even with history of art, like I was more into this figurative art and appreciate it more. But when I started to learn and know more about like development of the art in the world, and to understand more art scene in general, and I started to reflect more on abstract art, like to understand better like artists who use this. I was like, actually it's much deeper than I thought. And I mean, it was just my interest in in abstract art. But the main thing that changed my mind, I think, actually it was after I started to do abstract tattoos actually. So I just changed focus.
You just changed focus from the classic to the abstract when you started doing it?
Doing tattoos actually, because in the beginning, like I really was into it, like more like okay, it's interesting, but I was not into it by my own. I mean, like I didn't create it, but I think the most big impact for me and to understand the powerful of abstract art, not just tattoos but art in general.
And you started tattooing, working in bodies.
Yes.
And this happened when you were still in university. So you started tattooing in the university, or?
Yeah, I was in the second grade.
Oh, immediately in the second grade. And what pushed you into tattooing? Like, what was it? Was it because you were doing your art, like you were experiencing art in paper and rock and all of this, inanimate objects, and then you, like in your head, you try to be like, I can do this in the living.
Yeah. In my mind, it was like something new to try, like new technique.
New technique and how was it like in the beginning? How did you feel like?
It was interesting, as I told you. I was curious how it works. It's like new material for me, new media, and yeah, in the beginning it was like.
So this curiosity of like working in different types of materials.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Materials, even human beings, like using this
scheme.
And drawing like the comparison between working in inanimate objects and working in people, like what was the big difference from it? Did you notice a big difference? Well, how was it like for you to like start working with people instead of working with inanimate objects?
It's different because you work with I'm a pretty introverted person, and to work with people, it's something that's out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
But at the same time, it was interesting for me, and what I also grateful for, that I had a lot of people around who wanted tattoos.
Okay.
And it somehow happened that I started doing this and keep doing this for some time, and I was like, okay, interesting, let's keep doing this. And
so you already had like a big test subjects for you to try and like experience.
Yeah.
And you started immediately with like with the abstract, like
No. I tried different styles, and even in the beginning, I didn't get like abstract tattoos when I just started, because in my mind it was more, I don't know, like more meaningful maybe. Like most of people think that tattoos need to be like meaningful, some objects. So I tried
lettering, all of these things. Lettering, objects.
Do different things, like different. So I tried a lot of them, and I think in some time, when I was more with knowledge as well about like abstract art, I was like, okay, so it looks nice. Also, I started to notice more and more interesting tattoo artists, like who were abstract as well. For example, this works also a really big influence. It was still really great. And I think
I think I heard about this Janina. I think I've heard about her. Yeah, I think she's also a tattoo artist. No, I think she's good.
Great one.
She's a good one, I think. She's not too shabby. She's good.
So I think it was something that I was going through. So I started to do some like objective pictures, and I started to do different styles. Like it was mostly black, because from the beginning I didn't like to do some colors. It was more like through graphic, through gravure tattoos, kind of more with lines. But then I tried to do something else. I started to do more ornaments, and I was like, okay, so ornaments looks also fine. And it started like from ornaments, I think, because it's more abstract. It's less meaningful. It's more about shape, and also my interest with the shape of the body. Also, thanks to university, I had this practice to study plastic anatomy and to
And also, when you were a kid, you also were interested, so everything is kind of
it's
interconnected.
Kind of connected in one piece. So, yeah, and it became more interesting for me to change focus from the meanings to the shape and how it works with the body when it became like part of the body. And then when it became too easy to do some ornaments, like for everybody around started to do ornaments, and I was like, oh fuck, it's so boring, and I want to do something else. And I was like, okay, let's try to do something different and work more with the shape in general in a more minimalistic way, more like abstract as well, geometric abstract, and it somehow developed in the way that I try to do it now.
So comparing on skin, does work with paintings give you more freedom of expression, or like do you feel like it's the same? Like,
No, it's not the same. It's not the same because tattoos is something that I do for somebody, and like I work with clients. So the main thing that even if I do abstract tattoos, like it's for somebody and it's for their needs. And painting for me, it's the way of express myself. So it's something that I do for myself, and there's no limits. So it's just my freedom, my way to feel freedom, actually.
yeah, and normally, even though like, because I would assume that normally when they ask you to do some kind of tattoo, do they normally bring their vision, or do they tell you do they give you all of the freedom for you to be able to create something for them specifically?
I really enjoy when people come to me and have some references from my works, for example, but give me freedom to create something unique for them, because every of my tattoos are unique, because I make freehand a lot, so just work specific with the body.
So you prefer when people come with references, but you
No, my references.
Your references.
I mean, like they trust me, but I need to know like what the way.
which direction they want.
Yeah, the part of the body, the shape, because I also use kind of different techniques. I think sometimes it's more calligraphy and more slow and more flowy tattoos, but sometimes they're more expressive, more sharp. So it's just different vibes.
Okay. And this, so you were doing this in your second year of university, and when you finished university, what was like? So you finished your the university, all of your studies, and then what did you do? Like, were you immediately working in art? Did you continue tattoo? What was like the labor situation after you finished university?
After finishing university, I was already in tattoo field around 4 years.
Okay, so you had your name already.
Yeah, in somewhere. Yeah, and I decided to focus more just on tattoos, and I thought like, okay, so this is a way, so I can keep doing this. But at some point, I think in 1 or 2 years, I felt kind of burnout because I worked a lot with tattoos, and somehow I didn't get any inspiration from outside. So I think it was really good lesson for me that I need to do art to keep being inspired, because art is the main thing that
Yeah.
to
So
keep
you
an
were
inspiration for the tattoos as well. So I started to do art again more and try to keep the balance. So it was really important for me.
You were only doing tattoos, like not only, but you put your paintings to the side, all of your like other type of forms of art. You weren't doing that much. You were just tattooing nonstop.
Yeah.
And this was like, it was giving you like a sense of routine.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. You were.
So you were like kind of like, I need to get out of this routine and do something.
Because I felt like I don't have any energy or inspiration to keep doing this, and it became really boring. Yeah, and I was like, okay, so why I was so interested and so into it even during my studying, because, for example, it was a wonderful time because during the day I was studying, like still drawing, like figures, and in the second part of the day I was tattooing, and it was always this process, and I was somehow really inspired. And when I make the step back, I can say it, and think about like how it happened, so it was somehow connected because it works together for me. So I need to do art to be inspired
To tattoo.
to tattoo, yeah, to even use some motifs or some shapes that I can do not just in tattoos but from other medias, and then use them in my tattoos.
Okay. Yeah.
It was this.
And then you stopped, not stopped, but like you reduced your tattooing and you started painting and producing more art in different types of.
I didn't stop tattooing, but yeah, I started to.
Yeah,
I come back to.
you put a little bit of a pause. And
yes, I just come back to create an art as well. Just keep doing this.
And you were in this phase. You were still in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
So because then, as I can see, you had to move to with all the world events that's been happening. You had to move from Ukraine to Dresden when all of this situation.
Yeah, when Russia attacked Ukraine, so in 3-4 weeks, I didn't know what to do, like how to live the life. And in some moment, I decided to move to Europe to keep doing what I can do.
But you already knew the people. You already knew the people who were in Dresden.
Yeah, I was in Dresden before, and I knew a tattoo studio there and some people there who helped me a lot. And really happy that it happened actually. So it was not the way that I was just escaping from the war. It was the idea that I could be able to work there. And yeah, so I moved to Dresden, and somehow I stayed there till now. I'm based there mostly.
Yeah, it was during that period. It was, I would assume that it was like everything happened so fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like and you saw yourself in like you were having a stable life, and then all of a sudden all of this happened. How did this affect you? Like your life, of course, it affects you in a very, very bad way. But emotionally, how did it affect you emotionally, and how did you channel those emotions? Did you produce more art?
Yes, art actually helped me
To deal with
to
it?
survive, yeah, because it was really difficult. Like nobody was ready for the war, and for me, I didn't know also how to manage everything, and it was really had such a big impact on me, I think. And emotionally it was really difficult, so sometimes it was really difficult times to go through. And yeah, and I was back to art actually, because I just needed this.
It was an escape, sort of like to be able to cope with all of what was happening. It actually, instead of closing yourself, you tried to express yourself in the form of art. Was that something that you
Yeah, I think creating art. It was my needs just to handle my emotions actually, because it was too many of them, and I really couldn't handle it really. And it was kind of therapy for me, that in the way when I was doing art, it was amazing that I could be in the moment, so it was less stressful obviously. And to keep the feeling that I'm in the moment and I create something, and somehow and release emotions, and to keep control of this chaos that was inside me, and to realize what's going on with me, because also during the process of painting it was my way to understand myself, because I couldn't explain myself what's going on with me.
all the feelings bottled up, you would
Yeah,
put
it
on the
was.
canvas.
And now I just started to remember how it was my feeling, and it was really difficult to just understand what's going on, because I just couldn't handle it, And with art, it was the way to release this kind of catharsis, you know. And when I was finishing these canvases, it was more clear for me to understand myself better and to see like, okay, so in this moment, so this is what's happening to me. And yeah, it just helped me to go through these times. And
yeah, because even in your way of like projecting your art pieces, it's like it's fleeting. It's like moments. It's memories, right? Like.
Yeah. But also, you know what is interesting thing? I come back to drawing, to painting, like to my drawing, painting. Not from the beginning. I think I had a lot of fear inside, and even for art, I was looking like looking to the paper like white canvas, and I like didn't know what to do. And in some moment, I was like, okay, I just need to do this, and it was also kind of barrier. So it was really big step for me to be back to this, because also emotionally, I couldn't do this for a few months, but when I was back to this, I felt so relieved, and I was like, yeah, it's something that I can control, that I can. It's my world. I don't know, like just come back to myself, because I had this fear that I will be not able to come back.
Because you went into such an emotional stage that you weren't recognizing yourself again,
exactly,
and then through art you were able to find yourself again.
Yeah, to reconnect myself to myself that was in the past as well, because I had.
You thought that you would never see that person again, and then through art you were like, okay, so this is it's good.
It's not even just to see the person, just in general. I had this so weird feeling that life will be not the same anymore, and I will be not the same anymore, and I lose the person that I had, and it was really scary actually, and a lot of fears like just appear, and it was difficult, and yeah.
But then throughout all of this, you were able to express it and like do this catharsis through art, and then you actually did some expos after all of this happening, right? You told me that you had a project with another Ukrainian painter.
It was not a project, if you want to say, like I had a exhibition. It was a group exhibition with Ukrainian artists in Toronto, and. So it was interesting project.
Mm-hmm. How did you come? What were your feelings when you were doing that specific expo with your countrymen and women, like being able to expose you to put out all of the art that you did after all of what happened, like. And of course, you guys were able to speak about how it impacted, like what the situation and everything. How was that moment?
I think with artists, it's actually interesting because I also see how another artist in Ukraine reflect the situation of the war, and I think a lot of artists are actually started to create really great art, because it's so powerful and so emotional to reflect on this. But even, and for me it was as well, like I see myself in different ways. Like I didn't know like, okay, I will do this. It just happened because it happened, and
it was at that time, it needed to happen at that time, and like you had to go through the process. It wasn't planned. So it was something that you really had to do, and you were able to cope with it. Like because there are certain situations in our lives that most people are not able to handle.
Yeah.
And you were like, and I would assume that it was a point of view in your life when that happened that you were like, I'm not going to be able to handle this.
Yeah, you're right.
And then with the art and what you did, you were like, okay, so I got like an anchor, so I can put the boat here again. And like try from here to start to understand myself again, try to reconnect with myself again, and from here go to the next phase. So I would assume that art gave you this, and like even sharing your experiences with other Ukrainian artists would, like, it was more of like, okay, so you went through this, I went through this also,
Yes.
so
we
it was
are
like
not alone. We go
Yeah.
through similar ways of.
thinking, so it was good in that sense of like being able to like put it all out and have people listen and understand, because it's different between listening and like really understanding what's going on. So in a way, doing your art, besides being something that you really enjoy and you're good at, was actually like a lifesaver at that time, right?
For me, it is. Yes.
It is, right?
And
And-
still will be.
It still is, because you're still doing it, and it's great. All of your like your works of art, you actually, when you sell them, you actually donate for what's happening for people who are in need in Ukraine, right?
Yeah, that's
This is
right.
all of your artworks. You do it. This is very good. But you do like, but do you give to any specific institution? Because we here in the program, we will also like leave, if you want to leave some institutions that people can donate and help, that would be
Oh,
great
it would
also.
be great,
Yeah,
actually,
so
yeah.
that people can also be able to.
Yeah, we have some big volunteer organizations in Ukraine that sometimes like or I send to them money, or for example, one of my really close friends, like she created as well her organization, like volunteering organization, and make it like in the official way, so to make it right, to help to also my friends who are on the front line, to make it a bit faster than government can.
Yeah, to give some aid like faster than the government can.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of bureaucracy.
because of the bureaucracy, sometimes it takes
Yeah.
more time, and this was a really great thing, and I send money to them as well, so if they have some needs, so I will send it to them as well. So
That's very good. And they have Instagram pages and all
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
so we'll leave all of the information in the description.
Yeah.
That would be great. Your latest exposition was here in 1399, right?
yeah, that's true.
It was, we still have some paint. This one is one of the paintings that's from the expo. That one also, right?
Yeah.
They're still available to.
Yeah.
I think no, that one. One of them.
This is not. This is already.
This was already bought, but that one is available, right?
Also
And
bought.
it's
Also bought. Okay, everything is bought. This is great.
my manager works.
And what can we expect in the future from you? Like, do you have any plans for other expos? What is your next steps from here? Besides tattooing. Because tattooing
I'm
is
still
always
doing my art. I want to do more, but now, for example, I moved to another apartment and it's not possible to do it there. So I'm now a little bit on the pause because I need to find an atelier for this. Sometimes it's too messy to do this kind of art. So, but yeah, I have some art that I would like to show somewhere. And I
Maybe
got,
here.
I got an offer to show my art next year in 1399.
Okay.
So
Sounds like a good place. I think it's nice.
it's great actually.
Gallery. The owner, some days, there are days, but the place is nice.
I like it so much. Actually, it was such a wonderful thing, like with 1399, with Yamina, that I had this art, I did these canvases, and it was not in my list, or it was not my plan to do exhibition here in Lisbon. But one day, when Yamina opened the gallery, she said like, I would like to see works here, and I was like, oh man. Sounds so good. I'm so flattered, and like seems like you do something good. So let's try. And when I counted my works, and it was really good amount of them to make a solo exhibition. And I was like, okay, so maybe it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
So
Exactly.
it was good. Yeah.
That's great. So we will expect more from you. We're expecting more and more news from you. I will give our audience all of the info related to your work, so they can also, follow you and check all of your work. We will leave also all of the info for the associations that they can donate for our Ukrainian friends.
Yeah, I would be really grateful.
Yes. Hopefully it ends soon. Let's see. I have a good feeling that it will end soon now. Hopefully, because it's been too long and it's taken too many lives. And so let's hope that it ends soon. And from us here in Urbanos, we will give all of the information. It was very nice to have you here.
Thank you so much.
I hope to be able to buy one of your pieces one of these days. If somebody doesn't buy them all or sell them all.
It will be an honor for me.
It will be an honor for me too. And here from Ecos Urbanos, we will say goodbye e até a próxima. Ecos Urbanos, a Renascimento Cultural.